showing us the way. You're showing us the way.
Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. It is the Advocates for Action coming to you, of course, live on this Halloween weekend. It's a scary weekend. It's election weekend. So it is a scary weekend. So we got to get out and vote. I am Kimberly Ann Holmes Ross from Evanston Cradle to Career, where we work with over 40 partner agencies for a more equitable Evanston. So good morning. Good morning, advocates.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Man.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, and good morning, special guest. Hey, share this video, text somebody, call somebody. You don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this. Why? Because we're talking about money. We're talking about money and our relationships with money. We all have one, good, bad, or indifferent. We all have a relationship with money. And one of our community grantees from Community Building Grants is here with us this morning. And she's from a company or organization, Wealth I Am. I hope I don't murder her name, Nehanda, Julot.
Nehanda.
I'm getting there. I'm working. You get working with me, Mr. Man's working with me. I'm going to get these accents down. But we are excited this morning to hear everything about Wealth I Am.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Thank you, advocates. Advocates, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Everyone tuning in this morning, thank you so much. You could be sleeping in, you could be making breakfast, but you're taking time to be with us this morning. And I just, before I even talk about me, want to give a special thank you to the Advocates for Action, what you're doing in the community every Saturday morning, rising and shining, spreading knowledge, giving grants to people. So Wealth I Am was just an idea that mixed actually two of my passions. I'll explain how that fell into place. I saw the grant my husband brought a program from a church out in Evanston. He's like, you guys publicized it in a program. He said you should apply. And here you have a dream and a thought, something that you believe will make impact, and you put it out there in the world, and here the advocates are like, yes, I believe in this. So thank you. Hats off to y'all. I appreciate you. It's not about me. It's about you. So thank you. I wanted to definitely put that out there. Internet unstable. Can you all hear me okay? My internet is off and on. Working from home, draining. Good. Okay, good. So yes, like Kim said, I was one of the grantee recipients in January last year. And I don't know if anyone on that panel was there during the grant ceremony where we got the checks and then there was a fire alarm and we were outside. So I never really explained to those who attended what Wealth I Am was, but we went on the corner in the snow. I was preaching like a preacher and explaining to people the power of storytelling in terms of really, really touching on our relationship with money, really unpacking financial empowerment through storytelling. So I have experience in financial services, but I'm also a theater artist and have been so for a long time, from producing to playwriting. Theater was particularly my avenue. Spent time doing that in New York. I was on the business side of theater as well, on Broadway doing advertising and things like that. So when I got back into financial services, what inspired that was my family, was, people going through retirement, going through one too many funerals where someone passes away and there isn't a plan in place, and you're just you're grieving, but you're kind of trying to put together the pieces as well. Where's what, who gets what, etc. So it was almost inspired by that. The fact that we don't necessarily have conversations about money at the dinner table necessarily, the fact that we don't loop kids into that conversation. So I was just kind of thinking about that, realizing that money is not just money. It's not just that piece of paper that makes the world go round. There's stories behind it that drive decisions that we make, good or bad, that influence how we interact with money, whether we're spending, saving, in debt, etc. It all ties to a story, what we observed about money growing up. So I use the medium of storytelling through workshops. It's more of a creative writing focus, where I give them writing prompts. We get to the heart of their story. We talk a lot of things from the past. It could be traumatic. It could be happy stories, funny stories, but the theme is money. And I help them get to what I call their money story. So that's kind of the gist and where it came from. There's power in storytelling, and understanding your relationship with money often comes to understanding what I call your money story.
And we, excuse me, and we all have them. I was reading a newsletter, and we're going to talk about how to get this newsletter. If you're not on the list, you want to get on the list, you want to get to the website, because it's so interesting, and it really puts you in touch. And as you start to think about, your relationship with money, from way back, it doesn't start when you get grown. It starts really, really early. In your newsletter, you talked about linking financial goals to a timeline, and then achieving those goals through accountability partners. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so this was a big part of Wealth I Am. People ask me, who's your focus? Do you work with kids? Do you work with adults? I'm open to both. And what Kim is actually mentioning was inspired by a fireside chat, a virtual chat I had with, we recently had a youth logo design competition. So yes, Wealth I Am was in existence. We had a little logo we were working with, but I really wanted to revamp it. And I was looking for logo designers, obviously companies, who's out there, graphic designer. And I had a moment. I said, why can't this be a teaching moment for our youth? Why not reach out to those 18 and younger, have them, they're creative too, have them design it for me, and then have it be a teaching moment. So the competition was put out there where I said, go to Wealth I Am's website, look at our newsletters, look what's out there, and use that to inspire your logo design. So the winner was a young 12-year-old girl from Durham, North Carolina. And when we chatted together, she was telling me what she was doing. So it was great that she was already saving for her first car at 12. So she had a goal. By 16, she wants this amount of money. And that's key, right? In any terms of plan, any goals that you have to have a time frame. That's ideal. You could say you want to do A, B, C, but really put it to a time frame. Is this a short-term goal? Is it a long-term goal? So she had a time frame attached to her goal. I gave her A+ for that. And her accountability partners were, every time she saved money, like if she saved $50, her parents would match that gift. So then they would give her $50. So it was almost like she was accountable to them and driven by the fact that I'm going to get a matching gift for this. And she would report to them, obviously so she could get her gift. And so I basically drilled down what Hazel said, 12-year-old Hazel said, to everyday life. You have a goal, and then report to others, to your loved ones, your steps in achieving that financial goal.
I love that. Accountability counts. When you have somebody, who knows what you want to do and are there to support you in whatever way. I absolutely love that. Betty, did you have something this morning?
Well, welcome, Nehanda. I'm glad that you're here. So what you said earlier about understanding your wealth early on, based on your experiences, resonates with me, because when I was younger, I lived in two different worlds. I felt my parents were financially insecure, but my grandparents were secure. And I learned just from observing what they did and how that whole process of how they gained wealth, whether it was through property or just savings, helped me to know where I wanted to be going forward. And it is a struggle. It's hard to put together a plan, especially when you're young, because you don't think about the long term necessarily when you're young. But I'm so glad that you're here to help our youth and younger adults understand, because now I'm at an age where I'm planning to retire, and what that looks like and what I might have done differently when I was younger that would have made this process a lot easier. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yes. I think, I think as adults, so we have so much to share with the youth. And so I would say as adults, we tend to, and maybe parents and grandparents have done this too, and I'm trying to be conscious of not doing this as I raise my first daughter. We kind of do our finances in our own world, right? We're at the kitchen table, we're paying bills, we're doing our thing. Just think back to your childhood. And where were you? You weren't in the room. You were playing, you were separate. It was just kind of like adults, money, kids, go do your thing. You're playing or you're doing whatever. And it hit me not too long ago where I was calling a bank due to a charge or something that wasn't clear on my account. And my niece was in the other room playing, and I'm dialing about to call them. I have my accounts on my screen. I was like, why don't I bring her into this world? Why does it have to be limited by the age that she is? So I brought her in on my computer, had my checking account up, said, these are debits, these are credits, just kind of explained to her a little bit of what she saw on the screen. And we called the banker together. I had a question about the charge. I said, hey, my 6-year-old niece is on the phone with me. She was so shocked, scared, didn't know what to say. She was just like, am I allowed to be here? And I asked him, why are you charging this fee? There was some sort of minimum balance or something that I wasn't aware of, right? Always read the fine print. He said, he said something that was key that struck my niece because she was quiet this whole time. He said, all the other banks are doing it. And my niece, that was the first time she spoke, she said, just because all the other banks are doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. Inspired by what we teach her, just because all your friends are doing it doesn't mean you have to do it, right? So it was a moment for her. I was so proud. I told the banker, can you report that to your manager, please? That's coming from a 6-year-old, So I think we have so much to share. So just bring the youth into your world, into that financial world, into the bills, into the join those worlds together. And so that's something you made me think about that moment. How are we going to create those moments going forward? Maybe we didn't experience that ourselves growing up, but how can we bring that into the forefront today?
I'm glad you brought that up as well, Betty, because I think as a community, we just don't talk about money. It's another secret, it's nobody's business. And, you kind of just do, like you said, just sit and do your thing. And I experienced that, and I was shocked to know that I really thought, bills maybe got magically paid and, we were rich or something. And to find out that was not the case, I was like, oh, well, wait a minute. So it was real important for me when my kids grew up to say, hey, these are the bills that have to get paid. And this is why we have to go to work to do that. But I just don't think generationally, that's just something we've done. So I think to be real intentional, to talk to our kids about money and to not be afraid, because I think we want to shelter, maybe our kids and, everything's okay, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I've noticed that culturally, in the Black community, I find that we focus on bills and you teach your kids about bills and making purchases, but we tend to leave out how to generate wealth, how to keep capital. And I see that in other cultures, especially with white children that are well-to-do, those kids are taught something a lot different from what we're teaching our kids.
Yes. Generational wealth, exactly what you said. Exactly. Because it's not just what you're doing in the present, but what are you doing now to create the legacy that's going to continue behind you. That is so key in the conversations. I agree 100%. Thank you for bringing that up. That comes up in conversations a lot. Because we forward thinking. How are we? So the stories that folks. So let me just break down. We'll have workshops in which we bring people in and really unpack. I give them writing prompts. What about money keeps you up at night? What about tell me your 6-word story? That's kind of an icebreaker. We do your 6-word money story. One woman I'll never forget in a workshop that said, "Dance with money, it flies away." That was something her grandfather told her. And then she just unpacked what her grandfather did or didn't do And then, yes, we always turn it to now, what are we going to do thinking forward? What is the legacy you want to leave behind? And the reason why we focus on storytelling and writing these stories, so like I said, what that woman said, we unpacked it and she started to write her story in the class, is there's a famous quote that says, when a library burns down, when an elder dies, it's like a library burns down. So you're talking about generational wealth and also carrying those stories into the next generation as well. That's really important to me. Yeah.
And really, like you said, so the library burns down. So we have to make sure we know what was in those books. Mm-hmm. So, we really have to begin talking to each other. I think we're getting much, much better at it as a community, as culturally. But I think it's so important because we don't want that library to burn down and not know what was in it.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What was the gentleman who brought up generational wealth? What was your name?
That was Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn. Yes. I'm so glad you brought it up too, because when people are like, why stories, why theater? It goes into the subconscious mind, right? There are things that you're doing that are maybe prohibiting you from building generational wealth that are tied to something you saw, an experience you had, and then I call them money blocks. It's blocking you from moving forward. So it's a thing maybe you might not even realize. And so I'll give an example right now. Like we are investing in real estate and just kind of had a lot of things are in flux now with the pandemic, where there's, moratoriums and, you can't do certain things. And it's really, really frustrating for somebody who is trying to build. And there was a part of me that's like, we should sell the house. I don't want to do this anymore. And, it becomes emotional. And sometimes you have to take the emotion out of it, right? Just because I'm experiencing this now, what does me holding on to this property mean for my daughter? For her to generate that income to pay for her college, right? If Nehanda just acts on how she feels right now and her frustration in how things are going in her present situation, that's not me thinking first age. So just kind of really unpacking what's the emotion behind what's driving my decision, a decision that could be sell the house, I don't want to deal with this anymore. That could completely have a chain of events that turns wealth building in my family going forward, what I do right now. So
there's a meme. It says something about don't sell grandma's house. I can't remember the gist of the meme, but it is don't sell grandma's house. So we really do have to stop in the moment and think what that means moving forward. We have some people watching with us. You guys share this. This is some great information. Yes. Ms. Shaw is watching. I see Nicole and Sheila. Hi, Sheila. Sheila's watching with us. This is some great information. I wanted to know, as far as the storytelling, how can people get involved? Is there, because I think people really want to. I know I want to. I'm going to go sit and write my story now. How do people get involved?
So a couple ways. Someone just put in the chat the web address. I'm going to put that down right now, wealthim.net. Okay. And then my contact information is info@wealthim.net. Okay, first thing first, number one, go to wealthim.net and sign up for our newsletter. And Kim is on the newsletter, and I love her responses. Every time a newsletter usually goes out monthly, there'll be a story in there, and not just here's what I'm doing now. Here's how I'm we don't provide financial advice at all in terms of what you should invest in, what you should do. That's not what Wealth IM is about. It's really, there's power in your story. So how to find your story, and nobody's a better expert at your story than you. And what are the learning lessons in your story? So what I try to find, Wealth IM puts a call out, and part of our newsletters and kind of our marketing is to reach out to us, to participate in our workshops, so we can help you, learn your money story and build from that. Or B, one thing that is on our plan in our docket is to publish a book of what I call money stories. So I've been interviewing actually people in the community and broader out one-on-one. So if they're not able to come to our workshops, obviously things have slowed down with that due to the pandemic. they hear about it, they're like, hey, I went through A, B, and C. Ask them, do you want this story and these learning lessons that we're talking about to be shared with the broader world? Would you be okay with me interviewing you and including you in our future publication of money stories? So a collection of short money stories that will then be a learning lesson, a tool, hey, maybe a curriculum for the school system, the power in those collection of stories. So that's one. Go to the website if you're interested in me hosting a workshop, if you're interested in me interviewing you for our book of money stories. And then secondly, we were working on this, and this was the kind of the focus of the grant, is a storytelling event. So we were going to have these stories from the workshops, from people that were okay with it and obviously gave their approval, where we would perform them in a storytelling event. Then COVID happened, and obviously we're kind of trying to shift. Now we're doing like little short videos. You know, some of the stories that I've gotten, one so far, actually, we did a video of it and have posted it online. We may do a Zoom storytelling event, who knows, based on the themes that I receive from the stories that are brought into Wealth I Am. Stories about estate planning. That's a big theme. That's where my thought is. What kind of theme will the storytelling event be? I have two kind of things that I've heard a lot about, especially during the pandemic, is, you know, people are passing away. You know, I've lost loved ones. What we want our assets to do when we die and when our parents die. We don't want to talk about death, but it's the inevitable. Are we having those money conversations now? That's one thing where I would love to have some sort of event that showcases those stories, and then we have some people on a panel discussion. And then two, landlord-tenant relationships. And we're talking about real estate wealth building. You know, there's a moratorium on evictions. There's a lot happening where tenants are struggling and landlords are struggling. There's a lot of small mom and pop landlords right here in our city that their retirement income is getting cut into right now. So just, and that has caused tension. So I those are two themes. And when I'm thinking of a future storytelling event that I would love to focus on. So if you have a story in any of that kind of theme that I mentioned, or outside of that, please reach out to us. We just want your story to be heard, the learning lessons to be taught, and they live in your story. So
everybody has a story. Absolutely everybody. Marquise, I see your hand. She called me this morning. Marquise is excited. So now she has one.
I'm excited because she always brings the energy. I absolutely love you. So I didn't really necessarily have a question, but I did want to just share,
yes,
you know, something about, you know, generational wealth. But so I have sons, right? And what I tell them is, because I'm a single mother, they're always like, Mom, can you buy me, you know, and I'm like, this is what has to happen first before I'm able to do anything for you guys. Like, we have to maintain a roof over our head. I have to make sure you have clothes and the lights come on when you're ready to turn the lights on, that you have Wi-Fi because we're in remote learning. So about right when school was over, I told them that you would appreciate money more if you worked for it. And since you're not old enough to get a job, I'm going to employ you. I'm like, I'm going to employ you because you keep wanting something from me. And I just don't feel comfortable just giving you everything that you want. So we're going to make a contract, and this is your job, and this is how the terms of this agreement is going to go. So we made a contract, and everyone, I gave everyone their jobs, and at the end of the week, everyone is supposed to get paid for their jobs. Now, if you do not perform your jobs on time, then you will not get paid on time. So one day, and I also got them this card called a green light card, and it's a debit card for kids, and they can also save money on the green light card. So they save 5% every time they get paid. Each week, they save 5%. So my son is like a couple months into it, he's like, Mom, these new Jordans are coming out. Can you buy me these shoes? And I'm like, no, you have your own money. If you want to spend $200 on Jordans, then you should spend your own money, because that's frivolous money to me. And he's like, no, but I want you to buy them. I said, no, that's why people go to work. They go to work so that they can buy the things that they want and also provide the things that they need. So the point of this story is that he learned how to spend. He wanted something, and instead of coming to mommy and asking for it, he had already saved his money up enough to be able to buy the shoes that he wanted. And it was so great. It was so empowering to take my son into the store and for him to spend his own money. And now he's like, well, can I do another job? Like, can you add to my list of duties? And it was literally like, I'm like, you have a 90-day probational period. If you do not perform the job well, I'm going to fire you, and I will employ someone else. And so it was got to get to that 90-day point, and we had a review. I set them down, and we had a review. And I told them, this is what you're doing well, and this is what you're not doing well. If you would like to continue to be employed, this is what you need to improve on. So all of that, because I want my sons to be able to grow up and be able to be the provider. I don't want, in this generation, the young black men take the easy road out. They tend to do other things, and I don't want my sons. I want you to work. And I want you to provide for the families that you will soon have. And it starts now. So he bought the shoes and we're all happy.
Yes. And I love the terminology that you use, performance review, you're my employee, all the things he's going to learn when he works for somebody or starts his own business, right? That he passes on to his kids.
Right.
Yeah. I guess I want to know, my queens, if they get fired, can they reapply? Can they come back?
It depends on if they're rehirable. If they left on bad standing, I don't know. But so far, no one has been fired. Because they're brothers. Like they help each other. I realize that a job hasn't been done, but then another brother will help the other brother, and that's good. I said that actually shows that you guys are team players, and people will appreciate that in the work life.
And guess what? That's a skill. To be a team player is definitely an employable skill. So
absolutely.
Good for you. I see baby Sage. We all met.
Yeah, she's a love bug for Halloween. So her shirt says "Daddy's Love Bug," and she has these little bug things on her
in utero. If you guys remember at the Community Building Grants Award, so she hadn't even come into the world yet. So baby Sage, we knew you way back when.
Yes, you were yes. And I remember the snow and everybody was worried, like, be careful, you're pregnant.
She's our advocate, baby.
So, yep. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for sharing her with us. Before we get off the air, Demita, did you have anything? I know you're driving.
I just want to thank you for this type of program. I mean, I struggle constantly with my 12-year-old trying to make sure she understands about generational wealth as far as trying to make sure she doesn't follow in any of my bad financial habits. But I'm definitely going to check out the newsletter and see what other things I can glean from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for those tuning in while driving. My goodness. Multitask. Thank you.
Our advocates are dedicated. They are dedicated. I think we want to walk away with the importance of, we know that everybody has a money story and a relationship with wealth, but how it is empowering as you learn your money story and learn your financial habits. Yeah. So as I do every Saturday, I try to anyway. Nehanda, can we go around the room? And I want you to lead the question, I think, because I don't want to get it wrong. You asked about the six-word
story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So if you could call,
let's all do our 6-word money story. So
I'll go last.
It's key, and why I say 6 words, and I start this as an icebreaker in my workshop, is because there's power in the 6 words. When I told you what that woman said, dance with money, it flies away, everybody's like, whoa, what does that mean? And we unpacked it. And when I say unpack, a lot of what was hiding behind those 6 words was in her subconscious mind. Like, it's like some of these stories are hidden. Some of these stories we have pushed away. And so let's use 6 words and spontaneous. Don't think about it now. I know you all are thinking what your 6-word story is. Improv. I'm a theater person, on the spot. sometimes there's power in what comes out immediately, right away. I use a lot of theater exercises in my workshop. Remember, this is creativity and storytelling. So you don't want to pre-plan. So 6-word story. Don't pre-plan. If you already thought of one, erase it on the spot. I'm going to start leaving a legacy. Leaving a legacy. I am Supermom.
Demita?
Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna do this right. Ill-equipped, hopeful, legacy. I don't know. That's 3, right?
All right, we'll take 3.
All right.
Betty?
Using my power, sharing with others.
Nice. Miss Sandra? Miss Sandra? You on mute, baby.
Hello?
Okay. Miss Sandra, you got to push your microphone. Okay. I'm going to go to my... I'm gonna make Miss Sandra get on.
The love of money will ruin.
Ooh, the love of money. I'm writing these down. Will ruin. Because you know there's stories behind that. All of that. Yes.
See you off camera. Can you hear us? I'm gonna go to Glenn.
Sell property to buy property.
Say that one more time. Glenn.
Only sell property to buy property.
Okay.
I missed the first word. Don't sell property. Say that again.
Only
Sell property. So yes.
And if you have a money story and you're watching with us on Facebook, put your money story in the comments.
Can you say that in Creole so everybody, in Haiti can hear this?
Yes. Oh my goodness, I forgot. Radio La Différence, ça passe. Tout le monde, moi c'est Nehanda Julot. Compagnie moi le Wealth I Am. Na parlé de Kob Kounia. So Kounia m'a dit une phrase Glenn Beck dit en créole. Seulement von caillou si wap achete kay. So wap pale kembe caillou pour tankou yon investissement. I said a little more than your 6 words.
How beautiful is that? We are international.
Exactly.
We have arrived. This is so cool. Okay, I guess I'm last. Oh no, T came on. Come on, T.
To build wealth is to share wealth.
I love that.
I love it.
I missed it. Say it again.
To build wealth is to share wealth.
To build wealth is to share wealth. Yeah.
And I have Corrine watching with us, and she said, not broke, just want more money. Not broke, just want more money. Okay?
I love it. She mixed Creole in it. That's my cousin. I love her.
Okay. Hey, cousin. Hey, cousin. And I see Alderman Rainey is watching with us. So we appreciate all of our Facebook family, all of our Radio La Différence family for tuning in with us. Nehanda, this has been amazing. Oh, wait, I didn't get to say mine. I want mine in Creole, too.
Kim, where's your money story? That's my 6 words.
Money will make you happy. Money will make you sad. That's it.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing those 6 words. And, reach out if you want us to host a Wealth I Am workshop. We're happy to do that. And then again, one-on-ones with me, unpacking your story if you want it to be out in the broader world. We'll use creativity to really dig deep. There's a learning lesson in what you all are holding inside. Yes, and Sage agrees.
And we love Sage. Hold her up so we can see her before we bye, Sage. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Remember, as important as your money. Look, she's so beautiful. As your money is your vote. Your vote this weekend. Please, 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 if you haven't voted already, Get out and vote by any means necessary. We have a special video. Hopefully this will motivate you by the public speaker who turns out to be a family-focused kid. I was on Lisa's page last night and saw his video. I'm hoping this will motivate you. It talks about all the injustices that have been going on in the world. So if that alone should motivate us all to get up, get out, and vote. We are the Advocates. We will be back next Saturday, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We'll be here with you. Stay safe, stay well. Happy Saturday.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Cam,
Happy Saturday, everyone.
Cam, did you say you wanted your 6 words in Creole too? I thought you said that, right?
Oh, Mr. Man, buy-nous Simon en créole. Sous thème de l'argent, s'il vous plaît.
Pardon? I'm sorry?
Buy-moi 6 mots avec thème l'argent pour tout le monde.
In Creole? In Creole?
En créole, oui. Et puis en anglais.
Well, I'm gonna make it easy. I'm gonna go with what one lady said. I'm gonna say, si vous aimez l'argent, faut travailler pour lui.
Okay.
So translate it for us.
Yeah, if you like money, if you love money, you got to work for it.
Okay.
Right.
That's it. Thank you for joining us. As always, Mr. Man, we appreciate you. You guys stay safe.
Bye.
All right. Good. Thank you, girl, ladies and gentlemen.
They treat us all like we some murderers. How we a threat, you came and smuggled us. We was living peaceful when the brush. Then here you come brainwash and torture us. Beat us like turn us against each other. William Lynch us, we can see it coming. Rob our culture, everything we created. Change the name, say a white man made it. Kill off our leaders and activists. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Dr. Seppi tried to teach us health, but y'all wanna murder and keep us suppressed. Kill enough, but we keep multiplying. So you would create a coronavirus. Marcus Garvey taught the master plan, returning back to our homeland. Build and create our own civilization. Imagine a place where we make the decisions. Y'all kill us, no justice. We fill up the prisons. Y'all try to enslave us, cut off our existence. We're not our ancestors, we are the resistance. Standing our ground, we gon' force you to listen. A new day and age, rise of the resistance. Time for some change, I pray God you with us. I can't breathe, mama, please help me now. I can't breathe, Lord, never not like this. I can't breathe, mama, please help me now. I can't breathe, Lord, never not like this. Hear the cry screaming mama help from all the Emmett Tills and the Oscar Crest. George Floyd took a knee to the neck. Ahmaud Arbery was an innocent death. Eric Garner tried to plead his rights, tried to share some peace and break up a fight. Remember Walter Scott caught a traffic stop. He was shot 8 times by a racist cop. Fighting fear came over Brooks. He wrestled, he tussled, he put up a fight. How was he to know that it would cost his life? He was trying to live and still pay the price. Trayvon, young Trayvon, my heart still feel came from. This killer still roam free today. No charges ever been brought on. Can't hear the screams yelling, mama, please. All I hear is cries yelling, I can't breathe. Heart so heavy, it's getting hard to bear. Juneteenth, look what happened there. This is genocide, that's the way I see it. Wanna cripple our culture like we're paraplegic. Power is money and money is power, but knowledge is dangerous. We rise and we conquer. I can't breathe, mama, please help me now. I can't breathe, Lord, never, not like this. I can't breathe, mama, please help me now. I can't breathe, Lord, never, not like this.
Rest in peace. Breathe. Breathe.
Black Lives Matter.
Listening to Evanston Cradle to Career Advocates for Action on Radio La Difference. Please tune in again next Saturday for another show.